It does nothing for me. I mean, I actually think I'm getting gypped when I go to a movie and I realize it's either been shot on digital or being projected in digital. I mean, some people feel differently about this, but I think it's the death keel. I think it's the death rattle.
I'm not here to complain or laud visual effects. Like nuclear energy, it can either destroy or build. Nor am I here to discuss the means of digital production and consumption. There are many articles, talks, videos, books, and lectures that tread that ground. And each of these tells us that digital filmmaking is cheaper, opens more perspectives, allows greater control, and increases the ability of cinema to mold its primary material, time. From the audience's perspective, digital cinema opens our eyes to new visions, thrusts us into contact with more material, and opens the door for spontaneous encounters anywhere, in many formats. These are all just stones in the building of digital filmmaking, important and beautiful stones, but not the cornerstone. And the cornerstone has been untouched by most. I really got into digital filmmaking shortly after I tried out film on film photography. I purchased a film camera, I'd shot a few rolls, and I was about to just say, hey, film is the best thing there is. But then I ran into an essay by James Slaymaker entitled Revolutions of the Digital, Sleep Has Her House. It's a wonderful little essay that examines how Scott Barley, the director of Sleep Has Her House, uses digital cinematography to create a foreign yet tactile world that challenges our perceptions of cinema's realism. At the very beginning of the essay, he points to various philosophers and theorists who have pointed to film's physical, material existence as a mold, form, reference, or the real thing itself. This is a common idea, but in this essay it had a new twist. He observed that, rather than providing a direct physical record of light values, digital shooting transforms light values into computerized code. The resulting images exist only as a symbolic series of mathematical data, self-contained and abstracted from the pro-filmic event. In other words, I can hold film. It exists in reality, but I can never hold code. And this is when I flipped from film to digital. We have discovered our love for film grain and the grimy images it produces, but why have we not discovered our love for images like this one? Why do we not love the colorful anarchic grain of digital noise? I feel we are beginning to, but we are not quite there yet. Slaymaker's quote led me to find something special in this image, and other destroyed images like it, but I struggled for the longest time to decide what was special about it. Eventually, I discovered in digital images the ability to capture an essence that film can rarely capture. And that essence was mystery. On film, we can say that each of these items was present before the camera, that every figure, every object, every reflection of light existed in some form. The subject may have seemed fantastical like UFOs or a unicorn, but all we had to do was figure out the sleight of hand at its core and we would come crashing back to reality. We had a physical record back then. But now, we can never truly know what was there, what was created, and what was manipulated. The strings and tape are gone. This means we are constantly unsure, constantly doubtful, and constantly tricked, which is a good thing. Art's greatest ability is what some call the sublime, others call beauty, and yet others truth. Many of us interchange these terms as they each speak to what mystery means. The beyond, the out there. Something that feels intimate and clear, but something which we cannot put words to or explain. Of course, film can capture these moments of mystery as well, but the very essence of digital cinema is aligned with the beyond. This means cinema is no longer confined to the real, which can only go so far. The beyond is no easier to capture, but the tools are now all available with which to shape, distort, and change reality to such a degree where its very surface may be foreign, yet its depths will be made of flesh. This brings us back to Sleep Has Her House. The peak, or at least near the peak, of digital filmmaking so far. It is a film which layers iPhone footage and mixes it with paintings to create landscapes that are vaguely familiar but entirely unknown. We know what a stream is, but we have never seen one like this. It feels real, something in it is right on a deeper level than appearances, but I cannot say what. Which means I have touched mystery. Only through digital cinema are we able to achieve this believable of a fake, this perfect of a forgery. As Slaymaker puts it, digital imaging has the ability to be either radically immediate or radically hyper-mediated. Or perhaps it is already both. This quote points to how we often think of digital cinema as allowing us more immediate, direct access to reality. We can carry it anywhere and easily capture life unawares if we are careful. It is tempting to say then that digital cinema is removing mystery from our lives, as we have immediate access to so much information and many, many perspectives. This may seem true on the surface, but through your own experience, you already know this is false. The radical amount of connections we can now make only further serve to emphasize our tiny and unknowing nature. Not to mention that this seeming reality is just a string of ethereal code attesting to no real event or person. This perceived reality of unreality is the bread and butter of social media, which may be an easy target, but is also a deserving one. So no, digital cinema does not give us more direct access to reality, at least not at its core, as it constantly calls into question the very existence of the images it produces. But the reality we take for granted is not entirely a bad thing. It may be misused, but it is also the strongest tool digital cinema has to offer. After all, does it really matter if this sunset happened, as long as I believe and feel that it did? Digital cinema reminds us of just how small we are, how easily we are fooled, and of all that we do not and never will know. It attests to the beyond, what happened before the Big Bang, something we know and feel but cannot explain. I will leave you with this image of the night sky in all of its beauty. Except, this is not the night sky. It is the grain pattern of a dimly lit iPhone photo.